Hey Aries, it's Amanda and I'm here to do your reading for June 2019, and I'm going to use the Goliath deck for the whole spread this time. So yeah, I just want to know for Pisces. Hey Aries, it's Amanda with Inner Ambiance Intuitive Tarot, and I'm here to do your reading for June 2019. I'm going to use for the whole spread the Goliath Tarot by Goliath, and it's one of my new favorites, and usually I'll use it at the end or just pull a few, but this time I'm going to use it for the whole thing. Aries Sun, Aries Moon, Aries Rising, or Venus placement, that's who this will resonate with. If it's not going to resonate with all Aries and Aries placements, but who needs the information the most and who's already seeking it, right? Whether it's internally or externally, or whatever it is. But yeah, let's see what the Goliath and what does June have in store for Aries. What energies are around for Aries, and how can Aries get through these in the best way? I'm going to do the Celtic cross spread. Aries, what does Aries need to hear for June 2019? Alright, I'm going to cut and get the spread pulled here. Okay, so let's get started. Bottom of the deck we have the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands being the overall energy for you Aries, it did come up in reverse. So maybe you feel like something is coming to a cycle. It's the end of a cycle. Tens are ends, but they're also the new beginning right around the corner of that. So maybe there's something that you're coming out of a state of overwhelm, maybe, or just just feeling overextended, or possibly, you know, like wanting to give up. Maybe you're coming out of a state of wanting to give up, energetically, like motivation wise, confidence, that kind of deal. So that's overall energy. For the central topic, we have the Strength card. So the main focus, the main central focus here is strength. Okay, let's see what's crossing strength for Aries. The Queen of Wands. All right, so this is having that confidence. Queens are inner confidence, more inner world type of passion, motivation, confidence, willpower. So it's like you found it inside through strength. Or maybe that's what's crossing this strength. So it could go vice versa. So there's some sort of, you know, with the Strength card, it's like the lion and the cobra, or, you know, in the original tarot, it's like the lion and the woman. You know, she doesn't fight that scary lion and think of it as dangerous and to be avoided. She makes it an ally, right? And the lion and the cobra, it's like, instead of being enemies, you could be really good partners and integrate instead of avoiding and resisting something that's conflicting. Just going about it in a way that kind of wrestles that kink out, right? And something internally, so it's like some internal passion, internal motivation was what was keeping you from doing that, right? And I think that's why your overall energy was that Ten of Wands reverse. Like, you're coming out of that now, and now you've moved on to strength, right? Crowning is the Ten of Cups. So this is what you are looking at this like. This is your intention, perspective, what your mindset is. So Ten of Cups is another 10. The joyous sky. So we've got these whales in the clouds, and it's like you want, it's almost like you have your head in the clouds, right? Like you want emotional fulfillment. You want to complete it. You want to get to that 10 and you want to start another thing. So it's like you're just wanting to wrap this up, right? Like it's like now you got your confidence, but like right now you're thinking about like, how do I fill my cup? Like all the way, once and for all, to the 10. The root here, we have the Two of Swords in reverse and the blind seal. So the Two of Swords is all about a choice that you don't feel that you have enough information about, right? Or you just don't see a good outcome, like there's two bad choices. But this is in reverse. So you're coming out of that, or you don't feel like you have a choice. So it's like you are coming out of that state of feeling like you had two bad choices, like there was no good way, no good road, nothing you could like decide on that would make you feel good about, like, okay, I made a good decision, I can walk away and feel like good about it, right? You're coming out of that. That's the root of this, okay? Recent past, the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is all about, so pages are messengers, and this one is this sword-bearing sister. So you're coming out of a state to come upside down of not having communication, of feeling blocked when it comes to getting a message or giving a message, right? Like people won't receive it, people won't hear it, they won't hear you out or give you the time, or you're just unable to reach them in some way, or you feel like you realize that you've been blocking the message out, you've been shutting out something, or you just feel like you've been blocked with communication coming in, okay? Near future, Aries, we have the Star. Okay, so in this deck, it's the Cosmic Guide, and it's this trunk of this tree, okay? And it's cut, and you can see it. The Star, this is you, like, being in tune and awake and realizing something, right? Like this is, you know, it's funny because trees, you know, you can tell by their trunk and their roots and all that, like they store all of their information, history. It's stored there. The Cosmic Guide, right? So it's like you're getting down to the root of what's really going on here, and you're feeling like you're seeing your way by the stars, and by first finding out what, you know, you had internally, like those roots, that information that's been stored there. It's like memory, right? Like memory, whether it's this lifetime, old lifetimes, that's new future. So that's in the near future. So maybe you're really just trying to get down to the not surface level, like the real stuff here, because it's like the inner confidence, the inner stuff, like feeling blocked, but you're coming out of this and you're doing this. So this is good. Where you are right now, the Transcendence, Judgment, okay? You are, look at that card. Isn't that neat? Love it. So this is Judgment. This is realizing, waking up, and right after the Star too, like you're transcending what has been bogging you down. You're transcending the blindfold that's been blocking you to see this. That's where you are now, and they kind of go together. The Star, Judgment, they're kind of like awakening, like enlightening, like realizing something, like epiphanies. In the environment, we have the hidden inner strength, the Shadow Cat. And this is an interesting card. It's a cat by a tree, and the shadow is a wolf. So it's almost like a wolf in sheep's clothing. It looks all sweet and cute, but then his shadow isn't. So it's almost like, yeah, it looks really sweet. Maybe there's a reason why it looks so sweet, because they blocked out their shadow so much, and it's become bigger, you know, and badder and darker. And I feel like that's what you're feeling like is around you. I feel like I don't feel like you were thinking, especially with this as the root, that decision, like two bad choices, like, oh, which way do I go? They're both bad. You came out of that though. But I think it's a lot to do with this environment. I feel like maybe you were just, maybe that's why that 10 of Wands was in reverse, like that wanting to give up, you come out of it, it's overall energy. But like you're coming out of that, and I think it was a lot to do with this environment, these people around you that you don't know who to trust because they look great and sweet and awesome, but then you're seeing more now. You're seeing the shadow, and it's maybe what overwhelmed you. Maybe it's what made you feel like you couldn't make a good decision because they both were bad, right? But you're coming out of that, and you know, sometimes with this kind of stuff, it's like almost like it feels horrible, and it feels like before you go through the process of it and see everything, it's like those people, those shadows, that stuff, it's like they're the ones that make it so that you burst through that threshold. And it doesn't feel good when it's happening, right? Like you look at the bear, you know, when judgment is judgment, like clear judgment, in alignment, realizing things that are right, whether it feels good or not. And it's like, but after you see it, you can see the way out, right? Waking up. And maybe the shadows in your environment, the people around you, maybe it's just the energy you've cleared out. Like that shadow, like as bad as it is and how it might feel and what you might see it affects like your environment, it's what pushed you to cycle out this lesson. Like it's what pushed you through that threshold to get that epiphany, that awakening, that clear out that blockage of communication or clarity, like, and not feeling like you could see the way out with that Two of Swords. Like it's what made you burst through that rather than feeling like you want to give up because you just don't see a way out of it, right? Well, your hopes and fears, the Magician, the Alchemical Master. This is an awesome guy. I love this deck. So this is like using what you know and what you've got for resources and making it happen. Like that's what you want to do. You're not scared to do the work. You just want to do it, and you feel like maybe you have what it takes now, and maybe you thought you didn't before that. Like he uses what he has, knowledge and resources already in his reach to manifest. And maybe you're just fearing that like you aren't seeing that, or you're just really hoping that you can move this along with this manifestation, right? Like get this going, like, you know, after like some of this clarity's bogged out and that energy is kind of like cleared out. I think through epiphany here, or some sort of insight or realization that you have, is going to really help you manifest in the way that you know that you want to go, right? In ways that you might have passively looked up before. You might have looked over before. And the most likely outcome, if the energy persists, is the Sun. So illumination, clarity, light being shed on a situation. And because what does the Sun do? It sheds light on so that you can see, so that you are clear in vision. It lights the pathway up for you, and the beams of life, that's what the Sun's called here. And the sunflowers, and it's like weird that that's where you are here with this bear, and then this is where it's heading. Clarity is going to lead to you being lifted up, you seeing everything, the big picture, the success, the abundance, and that path just lighting up for you because you're seeing it now, you're feeling it now, you've busted through that threshold, and now it's time to shine. And I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is great. I want to pull one clarity here on the inner shadow, or the inner strength, the hidden inner shadow, the shadow cat card in the environment. I want to know, is this just the energy around you that hasn't been cleared out? Like, not people, but like just the energy that is kind of hanging around, or your shadow, right? Or is it the people around you and just seeing everything and it just building up, and you're like feeling like overwhelmed and want to give up in the past, and not seeing a way out, not feeling like any decision's good, so you just like don't know what to do. Like, what is that? It's got to be one or the other. I feel to me like it might be both, but I really felt at first like it's just like you don't feel like you can do anything because either you don't feel heard with that Page of Swords in the reverse for the recent past, or you just feel overwhelmed by all of it and like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to do anything about this. Like, so what is the deal here? Like, what do I do? What's the more information for the hidden shadow? Okay, that's like way too many. The hidden inner strength, the shadow cat. What more can I learn about this for Aries? It's too many again. These are really slippery cards. Just like but they're worth it. So worth it. What more can we learn for Aries? For her environment, her or his environment for hidden inner strength. I'm gonna shuffle through and cut it. Oh, just kidding. Ace of Cups in reverse. I feel like there is something going on with you know, to me, this card can feel a lot of different ways. It did pop out upside down. Coming out of a spilt cup, coming out of a loss, coming out of emotional fulfillment. Like, it's like whatever it was, it's the energy around you. Sorry to feel into that one a little bit more, but I mean, that answers my question. I hope it does for you too. I don't think it's necessarily the other people around you. I think that maybe they trigger you, if that is also the case. Like I said, it could be a little bit of both. But I think that only because you have such an inner shadow that you didn't know was there, or didn't know how to deal with, right? Like, because of that, you're able to see it in others and it triggers you. So it overwhelms you. There's something maybe you aren't seeing enough to know to deal with it. And I think that it is happening right now, because the reason I say that is because it just could be the energy around you that you don't know is lingering because it hasn't been dealt with yet, right? Like, once you like see it, you can plan to deal with it or dig deeper and figure it out. Integrate that, right? And I think that because it's there in your environment, whether it's your shadow or that as well as others sticking out to you more, like, you're going through this judgment. Like, you're seeing it. Like, something happens after that star in the near future, that star card. And it's like something guides you intuitionally and you see something because of it clearer. And you're seeing maybe what is causing all of this, and you're transcending that. Like, you're transcending your shadow. And this was in reverse, so some sort of emotional, you know, something that you have a lot of emotion for, that you were either not able to make happen, or you lost, or that was delayed. It's like you weren't able to fill your cup for so long, and it's because whatever, you know, process you're on and whatever path you're on, the layer or cycle that you're currently in, that you're so close to that threshold of, because like your intention was this 10 of Cups. So remember, it is the end of the cycle, but it's also talking about, like, it still hasn't gone to that next step quite yet, right? It's about review, and, you know, it's coming to an end. And I feel like you were stuck there because you lacked the clarity, you lacked the communication or being heard by someone enough to help you kind of move this along. And I think that something definitely happened where that you literally, something happened somewhere where you don't feel like you can't make a choice now, or you don't see a good option. Something happens. And then we have this Queen of Wands, the Cosmic Huntress. It's like you dig deep, like you deep dive, because you're trying to integrate this, right? And get past this last part of this cycle. And you're going, the cosmic guide, the star, like you're looking outward as well as inward, right? Like you're doing both, and you're gonna see something that you didn't before because of it. Clear, and it's gonna wake you up to maybe that there is something you haven't dealt with, or that other people's shadows are sticking out much more, and maybe you're fearing other people because of that. Like you don't know who to trust, you don't know who's really the cat, or do they have that wolf like underneath? Like what is it? And I feel like maybe because you haven't looked at it in yourself, you're seeing it in everybody maybe, and it's about something that, you know, you weren't able to fill on your own before, and it's because of this shadow. Like you're not able to fill an emotional cup or have any solid relationships, love, or just close friends or family, because you aren't able to fill that until this shadow is dealt with. You felt like it hadn't been filled and you couldn't figure out how, because your 10 of Cups in tension with the crowning position, like what your mindset is, like that's what you want. You kind of want to just be done with the cycle and get your cup already. Know how to fill your own cup. And you know, that's why this shadow's here. Like whether it's you or them or both or whatever it is, like it's a delayed new beginning that fills your cup, and it's lurking in the shadow. And if once you are seeing it, once you see that, once you get that clarity, once the veil's lifted through whatever the star in the near future brings you, that cosmic guide, that insight you reach for, it's going to show you where that is, and it's hiding. That delay, it's delayed because it's in that shadow. Okay, and once you see it, you know where to look, right? That's what the sun's all about. It illuminates the part that what you've been searching for is hiding in, right? And it gets so tangled up that sometimes it's confusing, and I feel like that's where you've been. Overwhelmed, didn't know which way to go, both were bad. Now you're gonna see it. You know, you've been pushed, Aries. You've been pushed into a spot where you had to look in other places, and you're finding something. You're finding breadcrumbs, and it's great. And the sun is coming, and the star in the sun is coming. And I really hope this helped you. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, and share your experience. What two decisions did you feel that both were bad? And maybe like, was there communication? Was somebody being hard-headed? Like, were they just not even considering what you had to say or hearing you out? Or were you doing this when you found that clarity? Let me know if you're willing to share. And I will see you soon. And have a great June, Aries. Thanks.